Good evening on day 106. I am back on trail after a really lovely stop in Burney. The loveliness really started yesterday with my ride into town. You know, I got to the highway in the afternoon and it was really hot and I was just not feeling being out in the heat. And I had mentally prepared myself to be standing on the highway for a while trying to get a hitch because I'd heard that it was a hard hitch. But in the time that it took me to get from where the trail crosses the highway to a slightly better spot just up the road where there's actually a spot for cars to pull over, someone had already turned around and come back for me. So like by the time I got to the spot where I planned to stand and hitch, someone was there picking me up. It was a Native American family, the driver, she was telling me about just what, you know, this area, the land around here, the water around here, what it was like to grow up around here, and also talked to me a little bit about like the spiritual significance that Mt Shasta has for their people. And so it was just a really, really great car ride. Just really positive people, lots of really positive energy, and it's really cool to just learn about something that I don't know very much about. And yeah, it was great. And just really, so yeah, it just started off wonderfully. And so thank you to that person if you've now found my videos. You know who you are, and I'm still very grateful, so thank you. And then there's a church in town that hosts hikers in their gym, and that was a really great place to just relax and sort of be and rest. And I realized after I got there that I really did kind of need some rest. And they have showers and a kitchen that they offer to hikers as well. And so yeah, just really, really sweet people, really great interactions all around, and it just made for a really lovely, restful stay in town. And I spent most of my day today there. I thought about getting out like a little bit after lunchtime, like, you know, just kind of the day just kind of went on, and I was like, yeah, I'll get out soon. But it was so hot. I'm really glad that I didn't get out until a little bit later in the evening, because I mean, I don't know exactly how hot it's been. I haven't checked the numbers, but I heard someone throw out a 105. Whew, and that is hot. And that makes me feel a little bit better about how wimpy I was about it yesterday, because that is hotter than it was in the desert. And that makes me feel better for being like, oh, I don't think it was this hot in the desert. Did I forget what it felt like? And no, for at least for us, we were very lucky in the times that we went by. It didn't get that hot. So I don't know what that means really exactly. I just don't want to think about what that means really for the days ahead, because apparently this is sort of a heat wave that we may still be in. I'm just trying not to think about it. I'm just trying to think that it's all going to be fine. There'll be trees, there'll be shade, there'll be water. Things are going to be okay. And they will be, even if it is a little toasty. Anyway, I plan for tonight, hike a couple more miles. I'm not planning on going much further. And just kind of rest and get ready for the day tomorrow. Still adjusting to the fact that I've got less to go than I've already done. But it's a nice feeling. Super sweet sunset tonight. And honestly, the video does not do the colors justice at all. Sorry, you're gonna have to come out here and see it for yourselves. Good morning, it's day 107, and I'm on a quick side trail off onto Burney Falls. These are the stats. Now let's go check out the waterfall. Mt Shasta, you're getting closer. Good morning on day 108. Can you see the rainbow? It's just a little piece of one, but it's up there. Pretty cool. There's Shasta hanging out over there in the shadows. I just had a very chilly bath in this creek behind me, and it was fantastic. Home sweet home. Happy lunchtime on day 109. I am laying in the shade in my underwear because my sweaty clothes are in the sun over there drying because I couldn't bear to be in them anymore. And it's still kind of hot. It's not been a common sight on this trail, but those are storm clouds. You can hear the thunder. Another cool bridge and creek. And I went for a swim down here, which was pretty nice. I had been anticipating the swim all afternoon, so I wasn't about to pass it up just because it looks like it's about to storm. But so I just jumped in real quick before the rain could get here. It was still a pretty nice swim. Storm clouds are still kind of hanging around, but maybe nothing's gonna happen. So gonna keep walking. We'll see. Morning on day 110. Look how close Shasta is these days. I'm on my way down into, well, down a mountain to where I can get to Highway 5, I think, where hopefully I can catch a ride to the town of Mt Shasta, which would explain why the mountain itself has looked so close this morning, which has been neat. I've really enjoyed the views of that mountain as we've gotten closer and closer to it. It's been really cool. This last section has been rather forested, but there were some exposed sections, and they usually had pretty neat views, so that's been cool. Actually, I've been spending a lot of the time this section sort of reflecting on that mountain, and also on Burney Falls. So I learned from one of my rides into Burney that the mountain itself, Shasta, is kind of a sacred site for Native American people in this area. And then when I was visiting Burney Falls, I read the same thing, that Burney Falls has been a sacred area for indigenous people for at least hundreds of years, maybe thousands, I'm not sure. And it's just made me kind of reflect on that a bit while I've been walking. It made me remember that as a kid I was actually really drawn to Native American culture, like really interested in it as like an 8-year-old. And thinking back on it now, maybe that's kind of an unusual interest for an 8-year-old to have, but it makes sense to me because I mean, I think as a kid, I liked the legends and the stories, and I think I thought they looked cool and things like that, but also I was really drawn to how they seem to have a deeper connection with the natural world around them, much more so than the world that I was living in as an 8-year-old seemed to be connected. And and I was really drawn to that, and I've been kind of remembering that and reflecting on that and realizing that as an adult I'm still drawn to that. It's special to me to think about these mountains and these waters and as being sacred, and then I have been thinking about them in comparison to other places we call sacred, and I'm not really gonna get too much into this conversation, but just kind of reflecting in my mind and how they're different from maybe our cathedrals and mosques and temples, and then just generally thinking about how more than just myself, more people, they do find themselves in nature looking for that sense of connection, and standing at the base of a beautiful waterfall or looking up at this like mighty mountain, it's easy to see that they're special, and that there's this sense of respect and reverence for those things, and I've just, these are just reflections that I've kind of had in my head, so I should have known that they really wouldn't come out very well in focused words, but I guess I've just been appreciating our natural spaces and the fact that we have them, and that we do respect them enough to protect them. Not all of them, but some of them. We have lots of, public lands and parks, and so that we can continue to enjoy these places and feel that they are special. And I guess I've just been feeling grateful for that, and realizing that I guess that for me, it's always been something that has interested me since I was very young, to be connected to the world around me, to the natural world around me. And yeah, I don't know. It's just been something I've been mulling around. Anyway, I've got about 12 miles from where I camped last night into town, and I've done more than half of them, so I'm on the town push. Should be there hopefully by lunchtime. Go get some chores done, launder, shower, resupply, that kind of stuff. And let's see, on a note unrelated to how majestic the natural world is, I may have poison oak on my legs, and I have swallowed 2 suicidal gnats.
1,500 miles! Woohoo!